What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to Strangers Minds. I'm Fernando, and today we're gonna read from Reddit. We're gonna stick with that name and let's just call it what it is because I haven't even put any time to trying to figure out what's a good name for it. But we're gonna read from Reddit, and we're gonna start off with a post that was put up 3 hours ago. Crystal clear EVP captured in New York. Just in case, that is where I'm from, except I relocated last summer. I live in Florida now, but was born and raised in New York, Queens, Brooklyn area. And yeah, let's see. Let's see what this brings in. Ooh, some story. Wait. What the hell was that? Okay. Hey. All right, let's read this right quick. Hey everyone, had this in my phone for over 10 years. I've never shared it anywhere, and to be honest, I forgot about it. When people say they don't believe, I've showed this to them. I think it is incredible proof of the paranormal. I've always been interested in this stuff. This audio was recorded by my friend while we were in an abandoned building while we were fishing for voices or something to happen. The location, Letchworth Village. New York, in the towns of Haverstraw and Stony Point, operated as a state run home for the disabled and feeble minded from the early 1900s to 1996. Schools I attended were later built out of the ruins. What? What? There is a massive campus of buildings, a hospital, a morgue, just about everything. The most depressing feature is the hotspot for ghost enthusiasts near and far. The police have a very strong presence, so if you do go, be very careful. Also, the buildings are riddled with asbestos and other toxins, something I'll probably have to pay for in my later age, as I have been in every building many times from adolescent to college. I have not been there since this recording, and the bad feelings and negative energy that place gives off are no longer desirable for me. This kind of vindicated me and gave me the proof and answers I was looking for. I never went at night, and I don't think I could take it. I don't know how much you'd have to pay to spend a night in one of those buildings. The scene, for college aged guys, myself included, were walking around rooms and corridors speaking and trying to get a response. I believe this was in the hospital children's ward. The proof, it's like this woman came up to the phone and spoke into it. I hear town cars still here. Let me be clear. There were no women with us at the time, how it usually went for us. LOL. The audible women's voice appears to be light but dated. Her use of the word town car to describe the automobile in this context could date back to the 1920s or 1930s. Yes, Lincoln manufactured the town car model name from the 80s to the 2010s, but I feel like you wouldn't call it a town car if you were from that era. You just say the car's outside. I'd love to hear any thoughts and comments from fellow enthusiasts out there. Thanks for reading and listening. Thank you, sir. Big South 61 for sharing your story. First and foremost, a town car. Yes. Um, my aunt was a cab driver. Cab services usually use a Lincoln town car to taxi. So Letchworth Village, I've been there personally. I have gone there 3 times. I have conducted investigations. I haven't gone there at nighttime because the police presence is serious at night. And, it is very damn near impossible unless you have a television show. You will not get entry or approved entry to do anything. I don't even think you could pay to stay in one of these buildings because there is a very good chance of harm coming to you, and the property owner is not going to allow it no matter how much money you throw at them. Um especially at night, because I've been in some buildings that there's the floor is completely gone. There are buildings that is just with a good storm will crumble. So for anybody who is watching this and wants to travel into Letchworth Village, it is an amazing, beautiful, historic location, but be very, very careful walking into these buildings. Let's hear the EVP. Mm. So remember, there was no women whatsoever, and that did sound like a woman compared to the hey hey hey. So yeah, for sure, love it. Let's see some comments. I hear Fat Albert saying, "Hey, I swear to God, dude, I swear to God, that is exactly what I hear." Holy crap, we on point, space bar punk. We on point. Um, laugh my ass. Well, it was in the children's ward that close basically locked in the time in the 80s. I love the fact that this guy knows his history because I am actually a history buff when I do a lot of research before I go to any location because it is extremely interesting. And not only that, it helps with your investigation. If there are certain names or certain things that you need to know to investigate and use it as a prop, then use it because you might interact with somebody that's familiar with it. And that is a very good way to do it by doing research. Don't just blindly go into abandoned places because it could go wrong or nothing happens. Um, I heard the town car is still there, and yeah, that is odd. Yep, haha. I couldn't stop hearing the town corpse did it. The town corpse did it. So I'm glad to have the better version provided by you and OP. Thanks. The the town corpse did it. I'm just curious right now. Let's see. The town car's still there. Is the town car still there? I hear it perfectly. And no, I'm not saying it because I heard them say or I read it. A lot of people have this misconception that if you hear somebody say something, especially when you're hearing an EVP, that's what you're gonna hear. No, but I've been investigating the paranormal for well over 20 years. I have developed a good sense of hearing, seeing, just I all around I think I'm a very good investigator. That's my opinion, but I hear the town car is still there. So let's keep it pushing. What's
At a
next?
very young
That is
age, Teller
okay. What is
had
this? Okay, so it is a picture. Let's see. 3 days ago. Let's give it a try. From Melon 115, a couple of numbers. I'm going to try and add as much detail from this day as I can remember. Please know that I may forget a couple things, but this occurred when we were a month into having our preemie twins finally home and we were totally on autopilot. Okay. So there's already a lot of, I wouldn't say stress, but there's a lot going on within their household. My sister and her fiance, still BF status at the time, he came out. Thank you for that personal info. Every detail counts. Had come out to my parents' house with their kids to spend time with my family and the twins. Our parents' house is a normal meeting point since she and I both live an hour or more away from them in opposite directions. Wow, right smack on the middle. During their trip, they decided to start clearing out the backyard, weeds and overgrowth. They worked into the night when she finally took some photos of the progress and her fiance at work. So that is just detailing um, the reason why they took the photo in the first place, which is very good. My parents have a decent sized fenced in yard. This was either the 13th or 14th of July 2023 when she took over, just in case, July 2023. I basically lived in Kings Park Psychiatric Center. When she took these photos, Her and her fiance were the only people out back. None of the dogs were even out at the time. Everyone else was inside, distracted with the babies and noise. She took these with her phone and didn't realize what she captured until a later time when we all had parted ways and she immediately FaceTimed me and our mom. I can try to gather more photos. That would be nice. I can try to gather more photos of the location during the day, night, and different angles, but it will take a little because I obviously don't live there with them now. For my whole life and maybe longer, I'm not too sure. The picnic table had been in one spot and they moved it that day for the first time. She took the pictures thinking she was just getting her fiance and the table in it. Her fiance is the only person she could see, and the light is just our patio light above the back door. I will add that our dad has since put up a ring camera facing the area, but nothing has caught our attention. My sister and I always talked about that house makes us uneasy, and we both have stories together and separated to add to it. Since living with my husband and kids in our house, I have never felt the unease I feel when I am at my parents' house in certain rooms or alone. My sister's fiance is next to the picnic table in both photos bent over. Okay, so let's see something if we can make it bigger. Awesome. Okay, what's the next one? Let's go back. Let's go back. Huh. All right. So let's go back. All right. So apparently, due to the story, this is a picture that the only person in the picture is this gentleman hunched over here. Hunched over here. So this shouldn't be here. This shouldn't be here. Now, if we go with the story and believe what she wrote, which by the way, she tried to be as detailed as possible, we appreciate it. Thank you for sharing. Um, this is a crazy pick, a crazy pick, because due to when you're taking a picture and there's some movement, you get like a motion blur, which would be my reason for this right here, because the foot is solid, but it almost looks like it doesn't have a shoe on. People might think that that is the leg of the chair, the of the bench. No, if you go here, look at the distance, and it doesn't have that pointiness. Let's go back. That's a solid foot. That's a solid foot. And if we go by, again, if we go by the story, it's only the person taking the picture and this gentleman over here. Yeah, this is crazy. And then it's standing right over here, blocking the the container, the gas container, or whatever this thing is. I thought it was a gas container, but it looks like it's plugged in. So it's standing in front of it because it's blocking it. And it looks like it's staring at the person taking the picture. Looks like it has a hoodie, or if not, so that hair is tall. This is a wild picture if we believe what we read, you guys. This is a wild picture. My thing is, if there is even one scrap of detail that is false, then we could scrap the whole thing because it looks like this gentleman is looking at this person. So there could be three people in this picture, and we're just being um, lied to. I'm gonna use that word, but let's believe what they wrote. And if it's true, this is an awesome picture, you guys. All right. Thank you, Melon, with a bunch of numbers. Let's go to the next. What is this? I hope that's not the only picture. My phone took this pic middle of night. What does it look like to you? Oh boy. Let's see. It looks like you should have put the original and then put this. It's only one pic. You should have put the original first and then do whatever you want, whatever this is. Going through camera roll, and the most recent pic was this. Phone says it was taken on last Friday at 1:55 a.m. Phone was plugged in and on the nightstand. No clue what the green line is. It looks like something from Canva and you're using a marker. Yeah. Also nothing in corner of my room to create such a dark shape. It is 1:55 in the morning. If you have some sort of or any sort of light coming into the room, let's say from a street lamp or even the moon, it could create shadows. So that could possibly be that. But this green light, if we're giving this person the benefit of the doubt and this wasn't edited in through Canva, I'm specifically gonna say Canva, uh, then this is a weird capture. Man. Sometimes I want to believe what I see and what I read because I have, I want to believe it. But there's just, obviously people that just want to get attention and we cannot just always believe what we see. So this is a fake photo to me. Um, yeah, the reason why you can't explain it is was probably because you can't remember what you was trying to draw on the picture. And if I'm wrong, my apologies. Tox 1650. Okay, let's do another one. What's up? Oh, it is loading.
An interest in
Wait. So let's see if we go to. I usually go to, as you can see, all of these um, communities that I joined. Let's see what's up with paranormal encounters.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey, hey! That's what we just saw. Okay, no explanation. What the f? What is this about? Okay, no explanation. What the f? Spirit? Question mark. Was just having a lovely rest in the park September of 2023. Took a few pictures of the sunset, and it took me a minute to notice the gray blob in the middle of the field. We gotta definitely. Okay. You can imagine my shock and confusion after zooming in if there was someone standing there. I have no recollection of them staring in my direction. I mean, there's no denying what that looks like, right? To me, it looks like a jinn of some kind. The fact that this person is familiar with a jinn raises a question mark. I took a few other pictures that I'll attach, but it doesn't appear in any of the others. I came back to this sometimes because it's creepy, man. Just wondering if anyone has an explanation or has a similar experience. Photograph. I love to see it. Let's check it out. Oh, dude. I wonder, can we zoom in? What happens if we do inspect? No? Let's take that off. Okay. Well, you guys, it looks like a huge Westie dog facing us with a man with a cap on his back. So you're telling me that this looks like a person riding a huge dog with a hat. That's wild. I didn't know I needed a Westie. Westy till I just looked them up. Damn it. Okay. Exactly what I saw first. Me too. Looks like Piccolo. Yo, Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z. Holy shit. Yeah, it does actually. Looks like Piccolo. Looks like a rowboat standing on end. It actually kind of looks like a small boat up on one end. Somehow you didn't go check it out. Um, I mean, it definitely is something that doesn't belong there. This is when it's close up. This is without all the noise reduction in the photo. This is what it is. I wish I could see this close up because from here it looks like it was planted in. This doesn't go with the picture. And obviously, if you go closer, it's going to look this sorry. This it doesn't even look like it's the right day, right? I mean, this is just me. Um, but the closer you get, the more distorted it looks, which would make this look better. But if you see it from far, the actual photo, it looks like it was actually put in there. But the benefit of the doubt, I will always give it to you. I'm not here to judge anybody, but this is just my investigating mind going at it. So if this is real, you guys, this is a good catch. I just love the fact that it does look kind of like Piccolo. I don't know where you would see a boat anywhere here. I don't know. All right, guys. Cool. 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 Let's keep it moving. All right. Actually, 5 hours ago, let's see what this is about. What occurrence or interaction with a physically common individual left you wondering? In hindsight, if you just talked to something non human, like a fallen angel, demon, vampire, side, ghost, BEK, reptilian, etc. Okay, let's see what's up. Title pretty much sums it up. Have you ever met a person who just gave you these inhuman vibes, even though they appear entirely normal? Like there was something off about them. What I'm seeking are tales from people who believe they have encountered human forms that are otherworldly. Those cases where you meet a person and think there might be more to them than just a person. Do your worst. I actually like this question for the community. I'll probably even copy and paste this on my Facebook page to get the questions um, from everybody that I'm affiliated with. All right, let's hear one story. Foul mouth mummy. All right. Okay, here is my story. Sorry if it's long. It's all good. We enjoy it. In this channel, we enjoy anything. Now, if it's like a Bible worth of pages, I'll probably just read a little bit and let the scroll just go slowly down. So whoever wants to actually pause the video and read it, you could do so, or just get Reddit and just follow, get the information. When I was about 11, 13, me and my cousin begged my grandmother to take us and get us a Ouija board. You know what? You know, it is ages 8 and up on the box. It says 8 and up. She finally caved after many sermons about how bad it was. We got the Toy Story. Oh, I'm sorry. We got to the toy store. It was called Children's Palace. I'm telling you guys, the Ouija boards is a toy. It just depends on how you use it and your intentions. As me and my cousin were looking around, my grandmother wanted to get a baby toy for my new little nephew. So she went one way, we went other. We went the other, sorry. So here and me and my cousin going up and down aisles looking for the board games aisle. We finally get there, and as we were walking down the aisle, here comes this tall man dressed in a leather jacket, and no shit, he looked like Edward Scissorhands. Damn. For a 10 and 11-year-old walking up to something looking like Edward Scissorhands is wild. He smiled and winked at me. That's weird. You know? And her and Axe walked past. I remember looking at him as he walked by. He had his patch on the lower part of his jacket, or it may have been his belt. It was a goat head with horns. He must have heard us giggling, so he turned around and waved to us. We waved back. Then he turned to the right at the end of the aisle and was gone. We grabbed the Ouija board, kinda weirded out by what the guy looked, by the way the guy looked. We were young girls, so everything was funny or weird to us. Yeah, that was yeah, dangerous. We grabbed the Ouija board, kind of weirded out by the guy by the way the guy looked. Sorry, we were young girls, so everything was funny or weirded to us. We went to my grandma, and I was looking for this guy again because I wanted another look for some reason. Well, we couldn't find him anywhere in the store. We finally find my grandma and tell her about the creepy guy we saw. When we get to the front of the store to check out, my grandma asks the only person up there if she had seen a guy fitting our description. She said she did not, so my grandmother took us over customer service desk to ask them if they could review the cameras to see the guy. Damn. They're going to lengths to see this guy. Maybe, just maybe, the grandmother wanted to protect her daughters to make sure this guy is not one of those pedos that are dangerous. So, yes. When we get to the front, that's a checkout. So my grandmother took us customer service. The man said he would check the tapes and see what he could find. We waited for about 15 minutes and he came back from wherever he went. And he told us there was no man in the store with that description. And the aisle we got the Ouija board out of only showed the two of us girls. He said it was strange because he could see us waving, but there was nothing there. Ooh, there's the stuff right there. Love it. Love it. Another weird one. My grandma's house is haunted. I grew up there, and from a young age, I was interacting with spirits that no one else could see. There was a man in particular. There was a man in particular I used to tell her looked like Abraham Lincoln. Tall hat, old clothes, always smiling, and would nod at me. Years later, I got my first job as a dishwasher at this tiny diner I town. Okay, dinner I town. That's what she wrote. I'm pretty sure she meant diner in town. All along the walls are old photos of the area. In one, my grandma's house. Standing in front of the house was the original builder and his family. It was the guy I would see around the house all the time. I have had a lot of strange things happen. Ooh, nice story. Whoop, 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 whoop. Nice story. So much so that I'm gonna give it a like. That was a awesome story. Okay. So there is another long one, but we're gonna just put it right here so you guys could get the information and if you guys want to read it right there. But I think it's about time to call it for this episode of Reddit Reads or reading from Reddit or just Reddit Paranormal Encounters. If you guys are enjoying yourselves, please do what you do when you like a channel. Hit that like, share, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. And I'll catch you guys on the next. Peace.